Hello from China. Let me show you the United States products in my home. Nothing. Do you have something from China in your home?
Remember when Trump's tariffs were supposed to be the ultimate power move against China? The big, bold plan to bring back American jobs and stand up to Beijing. Well, fast forward just 1 week and it's already falling apart. Smartphones, electronics, solar products, all exempt from the tariffs now. So much for taking a hard line. In this video, we're breaking down the chaos of Trump's flip-flopping trade war and why it's leaving many people shaking their heads. From angry critics calling him weak to China laughing all the way to the bank. This story is equal parts infuriating and absurd. So what happened? Was this whole thing doomed from the start? Let's dive in and find out.
Well, it looks like the Trump administration has backed down on some of the retaliatory tariffs on China. Specifically, they've said that they are now exempting electronics being imported from China into the United States from those 145% retaliatory tariffs. These include things like smartphones, laptops, semiconductors, computer chips. All of these things we do not have the ability and infrastructure to manufacture here. And this is all due to the pressure from American tech companies like Dell and Apple, who have been saying, dude, you're going to run us into the ground with these tariffs. It's going to cause absolute chaos, part shortages, and even massive layoffs. Let's be real, because those two companies in particular manufacture a great deal of their inventory in China. We've all seen the headlines of Apple flying in plane loads of iPhones to get around these tariffs. Well, now the administration has caved and said, we're going to hold off on at least tariffing those items, import taxing those items. So looks like he's caving to China now. How do you feel about that, MAGA?
This clip sums up the irony of Trump's latest move. Exempting electronics and solar products from those massive tariffs? Why? Because American tech giants like Apple and Dell were panicking. Without these critical imports, smartphones, laptops, semiconductors, the US supply chain would have collapsed. And let's be real, the US can't manufacture these items domestically. Not anytime soon. So these exempted products, if you look at it, make up 43 to 45% of China's exports to the US. That's around $225 to $236 billion annually. So much for decoupling, right? Turns out the US economy can't just cut ties with China, no matter how tough the talk gets. The list of exemptions includes essential components like, as I said before, solar panels and advanced electronics that the US simply can't produce itself. Honestly, this feels like a classic case of overpromising and under-delivering. When faced with economic chaos, the administration caved fast. Meanwhile, China keeps playing the long game, knowing the US can't function without them.
If Trump wants us to stay the course with his radical plan, you might want to think of a strategy that inspires our confidence, that you all know what you're doing. Like for instance, these tariffs. Is this a negotiation?
The president made it clear yesterday this is not a negotiation.
Let me make this very clear. This is not a negotiation. This is not that. This is a national emergency.
Okay, it's a national emergency. It's not a negotiation. Well, I don't agree, but at least I have some clarity now.
The tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Always have.
Too much rat poison. So what, is this a negotiation or is this permanent?
They can both be true. There can be permanent tariffs and there can also be negotiations.
How much White Lotus did you people watch? What is permanence in this negotiated life we live? Have a pina colada.
But this confusion is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the damage caused by these erratic policies. In just 80 days, let's look at what Trump has achieved. He let the US dollar collapse against the euro, destabilizing the currency, pushed bond rates up, worsening US debt problems, forced Europe to pivot back to China, with leaders like Ursula even discussing scrapping tariffs on Chinese EVs. He wiped out trillions in the stock market, shaking investor confidence, and I'm pretty sure he slashed foreign tourism by 30% and scared international students away from studying in the US. And yet, somehow, he's focused on saving plastic straws and boosting water faucet pressure. Oh, and let's not forget, his Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, Juan Soros's right-hand man, is now running the show. Make it make sense. Now, the irony is that these policies aren't making America great again. They're making China great again by alienating allies, destabilizing markets, and pushing the world closer to China. Trump's strategy feels less like leadership and more like a chaotic own goal.
How are you going to bring back American greatness if you keep folding like a cheap suit? Trump exempts smartphones, other electronics from Chinese tariffs. Liberation Day lasted a week. A week. And you expect all of these companies to just start bringing back their manufacturing when you just keep folding.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
You blinked. You blinked again. China called your bluff and you blinked because they know how weak Trump is. Trump is weak and he shows it time and time again. I love when he gets his sycophants out there to defend his position on something and then he completely folds the next day. Oh, just wait. Just wait. You got to give it time. You got to give it time. Just trust the process. He doesn't even give it time. He just folds immediately. Immediately folds. He's going to do all these things, right? And no matter what, his obedient and submissive supporters will just continue to cheer, even if it's cheering for the opposite of what they were cheering for the day before. They don't care. They have no held beliefs other than cheering their big orange Donnie boy. No matter what he does, he's perfect. Even if he flip-flops, 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 flip-flops every single day, just flip-flops. Liberation, it lasted 7 days. And now he's folding in this trade war with China. I love that China called his bluff and is showing him for the fraud that he is. And you're going to just call that art of the deal. No held convictions. You think he cares about those manufacturing jobs. You think he cares about improving the lives of the middle class. Then you are the mark. You are why we are in this position in the first place. And you're just as weak as he is.
Yup. Liberation Day lasted only a week. Trump rolled out these tariffs with bombastic rhetoric about standing up to China only to exempt critical industries like smartphones and electronics almost immediately. Why? As I said before, the US economy simply can't function without them. This isn't just a flip-flop, it's a complete collapse of the tough stance he promised. And as the speaker pointed out, China called his bluff, exposing how weak these policies really are when faced with economic reality. Tariffs were supposed to bring jobs back to the US, but instead, they've shown just how reliant America still is on China. If anything, this whole saga proves that Trump doesn't have a real plan for decoupling. He's just making it up as he goes along. So there you have it. Trump's tariff strategy isn't just falling apart, it's exposing the cracks in his entire approach to trade and China. From flip-flopping on exemptions to alienating allies to emboldening Beijing, these policies are proven to be more damaging than decisive. The real question is, who's actually winning here? Because it's not America. China continues to play the long game. while the US stumbles from one chaotic decision to the next. And let's not forget, every time Trump folds, it weakens America's credibility on the global stage. So what do you think? Is this just political posturing gone wrong, or is it proof that the tariffs don't work in today's interconnected world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.